a different style of racetrack, but I'm ready for it. We are green here at Irwindale. Huge.
Green flag is out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Sin City 110, Derek, underway. And green flag is out. We are off to racing here at laps of this race. We got a wreck. Hold on. The 12 and 1 goes around. Trackers may finish second tonight. Out of turn 4, Colin Albert is going to win at Myrtle Beach. With Phil and Landon Lacey going to drive off turn 4 and win at Bristol Motor Speedway, the Super Late Model. DJ. Welcome everybody to Stafford Motor Speedway SK Shootout presented by EastWest Promotion here at Stafford Motor Speedway. For guys that don't know, Stafford Motor Speedway is a semi-banked half-mile paved oval located in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. Stafford Speedway is the NASCAR Willett All-American Series sanctioned track with NASCAR weekly races every Friday night through May through September. This track is also known for the home of the SK Modifieds, as you see them out there on track right now, and drivers such as Ryan Preece and more, like Ted Christopher, races here weekly, or sometimes weekly. We'll have to wait and see. I'm in a booth with Joe Burchett. Most of you guys know him. He's used to these heat races. Tonight is not number 1 here for the SK Shootout at Stafford, and it's going to be a fun race. Joe, you're with me in the booth tonight, man. You've been in these heat races. What's these guys, what can they kind of expect tonight, especially here in these 400 horsepower SK modified cars?
Well, they're gonna be expecting to beat and bang a lot. These little short heat races are gonna produce some very tight, very close racing with probably a ton of wrecks. This track is predominantly a low line track, so you're probably gonna see the bumper get moved here, especially late in all these heats.
Yeah, coming in, I want to let everybody know, heats are 20 laps each. We are planning on having 3 heat races. They're going to take the top 6, so I know the ticker says a little bit different. I want to keep you all in mind, iRacing does not allow us to use the ticker for these heat races. It's all done in one session, so keep in mind, once the heat races start, we will have to turn off the ticker, but it's okay. We'll pretty much know who everybody is for the most part. Anyway, heats are 20 laps. Then we go to a last chance qualifier if we have one. 25 laps for that. They're going to take the top 6 from each heat race, and then they'll be set for tomorrow. And of course, the last chance qualifier could have between 2 to 4. They're still waiting to see how many people show up for this. So, yeah, really looking forward to it. It's a fun track. Joe, what is these cars going to expect a little bit over the long run if we do get a long run with some of these cars?
You're going to expect these cars to get extremely tight on the exit of these corners. You're going to see a lot of these guys probably scraping the wall coming out of 4 and out of 2. You know, these SKs, I don't know if they're open set or fixed, but
they are open.
They're open, okay. Yeah. Depending on how they set the cars up, they can set them up to be, you know, super loose on the early and tighten up extremely towards this run. With it only being 20 lap heats, I don't see it coming in as that big into a factor. With the track being as hot as it is for these heats, that could come into play, but I very highly doubt it.
Let me ask you a question. How aggressive do you, because you've been in these heat races before, of course you race on Wednesdays for the Cars Esports, and you have to sometimes race these little heat races like this every once in a while. How aggressive do you expect these guys to be, knowing this is only 20 laps around? You know, it don't take very long to get around this track, even though it is a half mile, 19-second laps.
I expect most of these guys to be super aggressive. It's, you know, it's a half-mile track, but it's still 20 laps around here. So, you know, it's not that much time to make your way through the field if you don't get a good qualifying lap to put you towards the front of one of these heats. If you're starting mid-pack, you pretty much have to go from the drop of the green flag and try to get as many positions as you can before to get into the transfer spots and, you know, make your way up towards the front to get yourself locked into that main feature tomorrow night.
And just in case anybody is wondering, the SK Modified, as I mentioned, 400 horsepower small block V8, and it does weigh 2,600 pounds on iRacing, and they also use the 15-inch wide racing slick tires. So we'll see what that plays out. We will mention the weather. Weather is going to be an issue here, Joe. You can see it right now, 116 degrees.
Yeah, with it being as hot as it is on this track, you're going to see these cars, or these modifieds, more so to speak, slide around this track as the run goes on. These tires will grip for 4 to 5 laps, and then you're going to see guys really starting to get in each other if they're going side by side through these corners.
Yeah, I agree completely. As we are set for qualifying getting underway right now, and I'm not sure how they're actually going to do qualifying, so we'll have to wait and see how they actually do this as we get ready to go. Give it just a second. We'll wait until everybody lines up now. Sorry, I had an issue. One of the admins messaged me. That's why I was being quiet there. So anyway, these cars, a little bit different type of race car than what we normally broadcast. I am actually glad to see this this series get a little bit of love. There's not a lot of SK leagues out there that I'm aware of. I don't know if you're aware of any. But it's good to see, this type of series get a little bit of love in it. And yeah, so we'll see how this plays out. Like I mentioned, we're waiting on the admin to give the go-ahead for these guys to head out onto the track for qualifying. Now, remember, they will go out and qualify a little bit different than normal. We're waiting to see, unless they may not run regular qualifying. They may just hop straight into the heat races based off practice. We'll have to wait and see. So we're waiting on that to be announced. And as soon as it is, we are good to go. And so what we'll do right now, we'll take a quick break. Be right back for the start of the SK Shootout here at Stafford.
Team racing allows multiple iRacing members to team up and race together, just like in real-world endurance series. Teammates can share driving duties, spot for one another, or be a crew chief. Team racing is free, both to join a team and to create one. Each teammate races on his or her own computer from wherever they want to. Your teammates can be anywhere in the world, and changing drivers mid-race is as easy as a click of a button. iRacing features team endurance events ranging from just a couple of hours to 24 hours in length. So, if you fancy taking part in an iRacing endurance race in the future, you can learn more about team racing on the teams page on the member website.
Welcome back to the SK Shootout as we are rolling out on the grid. Qualifying underway, and this is single car qualifying. And it looks like the number 50 of John Murray out on track here already as he's getting ready to start his green flag lap. We'll see how he does as he takes the green flag here at Stafford Motor Speedway going down into turn number 1. See him get up off the bottom just a little bit, and he works out of turn number 2 down into the turn 3 now. Joe, you with me still? Oh, okay. Sorry, Joe's having a little bit of a cold issue. John Murray on top with a 20.667. He's going to be looking for a little bit more than that this lap. We'll see if he can do it as he works through turn 3 and 4 once again. Remember, this is a 2-night event. These guys are going to be running 2 separate nights. Tonight is just the qualifying and heat races. Tomorrow night would be the main race, 100 laps. here at this track, as the top record right now at 20.8 is 20, actually 20.660. So Joe, you're back with me. It does look like it is single car qualifying. Sorry about that. I actually thought it was different kind of qualifying, but single car. As we watch the 63 Kevin go out onto the track. Joe, in qualifying, what do you want to do to try to get that fast lap? You know, especially if you haven't had a good practice or a good practice time yet.
You're kind of going to look at kind of setting yourself up on that out lap, going into 3 and 4 kind of high, and as much speed as you can coming out of 4, and you really just want to ride right on that black seam. Don't get down on the apron. Ride that black seam all the way around to the corners. Run it, as close to the wall, down the front and the back stretch, and just get all the speed you can out of those cars.
So Kevin jumps up to the pole for now. Here comes the 22. Of course, Kevin from Untamed Motorsports, KJ Design sponsor. Here comes the number 22 of Kenneth out on track as he starts his green flag lap here. Qualifying is going to go by very quickly here, guys. Only 2 laps here, and with a wide open track, you could pretty much count lap times. Are going to be pretty quick. It's going to be interesting to see. Do we see a lap faster, you think, than what we've seen in practice? 22 gets to the wall, but do you think we'll see a lap faster than what we've seen in practice with a 19? I think it was a 19.9, I believe.
There's a chance. As it's going from slowest to quickest here, you might see a couple of these guys up here towards the end of qualifying that were fastest in practice. Possibly go a little bit quicker than that 9.20. But it's probably going to be about your pole time.
Okay. Now, I know you've raced against guys like Roy Schiavano. Any other guys in here that you've raced with? There's actually some really good names in here. A lot of really high I ratings. I'm sitting here trying to figure it out. I think Connor Blaze looks familiar. Not really sure.
Yep. Yeah.
You know that name too? Yeah, I knew that name. There's a couple other ones that look familiar. I'm sure you've raced with a lot more of them than I have. Your I rating's better than mine, so. Bobby Jr. out on track in the number 131 car as he takes the green flag. Untamed Motorsports teammate of the 22. And he actually jumps up to the top of the board with a 20.160, so that's actually not bad. Not sure what he ran in practice, but that's not a bad lap. Do you expect a lap to happen, first lap to be faster, or do you see the second lap, being a little bit more quick?
With it being as hot as it is, your best lap is going to be that first lap. Your tires are going to give up so much on that second lap.
Here's Christopher in the number 12 as he gets a little loose. Yeah, that was the biggest issue, I think, coming in here to this. I've seen some guys talking about it on Facebook. By the way, Christopher's sponsor of SimCrow. But that was the biggest, worry I think that a lot of guys had was how hot the track was going to be. And if you don't know a little bit about iRacing, I think turn 2's got a little bit more grip, Joe. You see the shade kind of cover the track. For guys that don't know about iRacing, of course, dynamic track, it changes. But it looks like, well, actually, it ain't really covering the whole turn. Not really, so I don't think it's going to make much of a difference. So never mind. Just scratch what I said. So Christopher goes second on the board with a 20.219 as he comes out of turn 4. He's going to cross the start-finish line. And that lap will not count. Actually, it does count. 20.233. So he does not improve. Next out on track, it looks like that we have, let's see who's ready to roll out. We'll have to wait and see. Christopher comes down. They're about to roll out the next car here in just 1 second. And it is, looks like Doug Cockerham, I believe is how you say his last name. And the 86 modified. When's the last time you actually got to race a modified? It's been a while.
It's been I think a couple of months, but yeah, these cars are fun.
Yeah,
I try to race them as best I can whenever I can. Usually it doesn't turn out as well as I like, but I do try to run them when I can.
And a lot of it's got to do, I think a lot of the series, I hate to say the series is dying, so that's why I said it was a good thing to see this type of series in here running with this kind of format, because there's a really good turnout for this tonight. But I feel like every time I get ready to race in this series, don't have a ton of people in it. and I don't think the cars get enough love, to be completely honest. I wish that there was a little bit more love, you know, with these cars. But, you know, it happens. I would like to see it get a little bit more popular, as you see Doug jump to the top of the board with a 20.120, as that's going to probably end his fast lap. Next out on track is Garland Bennett. We'll have to wait and see. Actually, I'll take that back. He's not going on track. It might be Jason Perkins, I believe. So 20.214 that lap, and it looks like, yep, Garland heading out on track. And the number 30 car, as he's getting ready to start his lap. It looks like he's also from Simcoe as well, from his sponsor, so we'll wait and see what he can do. In the number 30 SK Modified, remember these are open setups in case you were wondering. So each driver, you know, adjusted the car to his or her liking. I think it's all guys, but their liking. As you see Garland getting a really good turn off turn number 2. This should be a pretty good lap as he works down into 3 and 4. He does go a little wide in turn 3. But coming off the turn 4, 20.181 puts him 3rd on the charts. Now keep in mind, this is going to go to the heat races. So you'll have, you know, 6 guys from each heat. Actually, you'll have a little bit more than 6 from each heat race. We'll have to wait and see. But I think Jason Perkins is getting ready to head out onto the track next. As Bennett crosses the line, he does not improve his time. Jason Perkins going through turn 4, start his green flag lap. So far, 7 guys already qualified as Jason starts his green flag. See how fast. Back into these cars look really light compared to the Tour Modified. Not sure if there's a big weight difference. There's a good lap, a 19.972. A really good lap. Puts him first on the board. He goes a little wide in 3 and 4. This lap definitely not going to be faster, but still a very good lap for the driver of the 62 car. As the lap comes to an end for him. Next up, we got the 007 of Colin Mellors out on the track. See if he can jump up. He's got a little bit of a blinking issue. Hopefully it don't mess up his lap. We'll see what he can do. In that 007 car. From Steinward Motor Sim Sports and Roll20 sponsor on that car. 5th place so far with a 20.204. Sure, he's probably looking for a little bit more. It's going to be tough to pick up on the 2nd lap, but we'll see if he can do it. And across the line. And he does not pick up. Next up, Gary Holbrook, number 71, modified, as I think he just about disconnected. Having a little bit of disconnection with some of these guys. Anywho, number 71 with the sponsor of Untamed Motorsports, Outdoor Panthers, or Partners. I say Panthers. This track reminds you of any track other than that we go to on iRacing. I heard the other day it kind of reminded somebody of a big Martinsville, seeing how flat it is.
To be honest, it kind of reminds me of a little New Hampshire.
Okay. Makes a lot of sense, actually, because it's got that little bit of banking. By the way, you know this name, Brandon Wilkinson. You race with him. He's out on track now, the number 60. Very good super late model driver and late model driver.
Hey, Brandon races on Wednesday nights with me in the Cars Esport Tour, and in real life, he's actually a spotter for a modified driver.
Really? So he's probably got a little bit of experience then.
Connecticut.
Well, he's got a little bit of experience, and you can see it there. It jumps to 3rd on the board. Not a bad lap. We've only actually seen one guy in the 19s. Kind of surprising. That surprised you at all? I know Jason's lap was actually kind of surprising to me.
It's not as surprising. I know there will be some people that will get into the 19s. Seeing that it's carrying over qualifying carrying over from practice, most people won't best their practice times just because of the track state is carrying over and the track being as hot as it is.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Does it hurt you more if if you're the last to go out, being these cars are out there running now? We're watching Zach Murphy right now, but does it hurt these cars more, the later you go out, being there's other cars out there on track now running it?
It can. It mainly depends on how you have the car set up for qualifying. If it's designed, or if the way you have the car set up and you want it to run with, as cool of a track temp as you can to start qualifying, you definitely want to be one of the first ones to go out so the track hasn't built up heat with the other cars running on it. But I would imagine, since these guys are running open setups and seems like these guys are pretty good at running these SKs. Yeah. I imagine all the guys here that are going to be qualifying towards the back have already made the adjustments for that.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask, do you think some of these guys that is qualifying a little bit further back, you think they just don't have a qualifying top setup? It could just be a racing setup?
Very well. Some of these, these cars are, still very hard to set up. Some people may not have the, expertise to set up a race and a qualifying setup.
Right.
But they can definitely take a race setup and change a few things around and get a qualifying setup just to start the race and have a very competitive and very racy race setup and work their way up through the field.
I'm not real sure what you could do on these cars as far as setup goes. I forgot to check. I don't know if you can adjust tape. I know you could drop the fuel. I know that's one thing you can do for qualifying, which might be why we're seeing a back end come out just a little bit on some of these cars. We watched the 2 car now on track. Do you know of anything else you could really do? I guess you could adjust tire pressures and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know one of the big things in a lot of the short track racing is the stagger on the car.
Okay.
Kind of how you set the car up
that
to
just
run
works
around
balance.
the track. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I know you do that a lot with the late models and stuff like that. As we see Peter put down a 20.211. It's not a great lap for him. I'm sure he's looking for a little bit more. He got a little loose in 3 and 4 last time. His back end kind of came around a little bit better than 3 or 4 this time, but may still be slower. He picked up a little bit of time, 164, and actually I think he stays in. Well, he moved up to 8th, so not too bad. Roy Schiavone. Oh, nope, I lied. Actually, it was Bobby Rafferty. I know that name. I've heard of him before, I believe. Number 7, as he is on his fast lap now. From Untamed Motorsports. A lot of Untamed Motorsports guys in here. It's always good to have a solid team underneath you to actually work with your setup and stuff too. Not a bad lap, 20.041. As Bobby comes through 3 and 4, looking to pick up just a little bit more time. Looks like Rick Webster is getting ready to head out on the track now. We already have 15 guys already qualified. And Bobby will not pick up any more time than that. Here is Rick Webster in the number 18 car. Untamed Motorsports once again. KJ Design on the side as well. Looks like a John Deere paint scheme. That's a really cool looking paint scheme actually. Well, he's working that wheel pretty hard as he works out of turn number 4. And across the line, looking to pick up pretty good time. 20.070, not horrible, puts him in 6th place. As next out on track, I believe, could be Roy Schiavone. I know a lot of you guys know Roy Schiavone. We used to broadcast him for the Super Late Model League. As Rick crosses the line. He does pick up a little bit of time, 20.050. But it does keep him in 6th place. Roy Schiavone out on track now from Sim Racing Short Trackers, number 76. Always a very good short track driver. Actually, a very good mile-and-a-half driver as well, doing the truck and Xfinity car. We'll see what he can do here at Stafford as qualifying gets underway for the 76. Actually, never mind. He just went to the top of the board. 19.930 for the driver of the 76 car. It's a good lap. Across the start finish line, looking to pick up a little bit more, and he will not pick up anymore. Next up, Junior Harville, the number 41 driver. With also Untamed Motorsports. I swear, Untamed coming in here, they came prepared tonight. They brought a whole army with them. Let's get a ride on board. Junior Hargrove, as he starts his second lap, 19.977. So lap times are getting a little bit faster. As he works down into turn 3. And going to finish across the line. And will he pick up any time? He will not. Here comes the number 19 of Glenn Pressel, the third. Now I'm going to look at him, and he better not be from Untamed. He is not. Once again, guys, here's a look at the track facts for tonight. You see Glenn get a little bit loose. Maybe drove it in just a little bit too hard. 19.909 puts him on top of the board. Great lap. I think he went ahead and shut it off. Definitely looks like it. We got a couple more guys left to qualify before we start the heat races, as the number 8 of Mark Logan rolls out. Nice looking car. It's probably my favorite looking paint scheme I've seen so far. As the green flag waves for Mark in the 8. He looked a little sluggish in the turn 1. We'll see if he gets the exit a little bit better in 3 and 4. Definitely looks better in turn 3. May not be as good as what he wants, and he's in a wall. So he's got to be a little bit slower here. Definitely not the lap he wanted. As Mark Logan's coming to... Oh, he got the wall again. This may actually hurt both of his qualifying times. I still think he will be into LC or the heat races, but we'll have to wait and see what happens as he crosses the start-finish line. Actually, it does count his lap. A 20 point. No, actually, it does not count his lap. So, unfortunately for him, no qualifying will put him in dead last at the moment in 20th place. Here's David at 16. We're working through 3 and 4. Not a lot of banking here at Stafford. I'm not sure what the banking actually is off the top of my head, but definitely not a lot. I'm sure I can find it. Third place. Sorry about that, guys. Power went out all of a sudden. We got a bad storm in the area, so I do apologize. Hopefully everything's back up and running again. Give it just a second. We're loaded back into the race. Qualifying is still going on at the moment, by the way, so once again, I do apologize. We are loading it back up right now, and it should be popping up here any second. And that just happens sometimes. That's unfortunate, but it's okay. Luckily, it was just the single car qualifying, not the actual heat race.
Checking.
There we go.
And while you were gone, Connor Blaze jumped up to provisional pole with a 19.739.
That's a good lap.
That's best of the night so far.
Yeah, that's a really good lap. I think right now, who we got out there on track now, I can't see who that is yet. Oh, there we go. There we go. I think we only missed one driver. How about that? My whole computer restarts and I'm already back in. That's only one driver only missing. Not too bad. Connor Blaze, Richard Smith, your top four. Actually, I missed Gerald John as well. I didn't see him go out and qualify. Richard Smith actually second right now with a 19.853. I don't know when it was we raced with Connor. It's been a while since we raced, but I know for a fact that we have raced with him before. I remember seeing that name.
Yeah, I've did a few public or official super late model races with him here and there. He is very quick in the super late models, and from apparently he must be very quick in the SK modifieds as well. I believe he races in real life, so it's no surprise that he is. Yeah, so no surprise that he is up there at the front. Most likely is able to work these open setups to his advantage. And I would not be surprised if you see him up front in his heat race predominantly all night long.
Yeah, we're going to restart the heat races. We're only about 2 cars away from qualifying, or from ending qualifying. As you see the number 9, then we'll hop over to the 21 of Kyle, and I'm not going to butcher your last name, so I do apologize. I can't read names. You know how to pronounce that last name? Kyle Odenik, I believe is how you say his name, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not even going to take a shot at that one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But we'll get it worked out. Anyway, coming through turn 3 and 4, Kyle going to put down a lap of a 19.964. Not a bad lap at all. Jumps him up to 10th. So we have actually seen a couple of guys actually hit the 19. So not bad for that. And we'll see if Kyle can actually get a little bit faster here, and I think I actually may end qualifying. Coming out of turn 4, and Kyle will not pick up at all. So, Joe, you've seen, I know we're not going to get the exact, how we think everybody's going to run through the heat races, but was you impressed with anybody there? I mean, I know Connor's speed blazing fast.
Well, it seems like everybody in the front, pretty much was up there to start with in practice, so not a big surprise there. I think there's a couple times in the guys in the back that kind of switched around, so for the most part, no real surprise here. It's still just a single car qualify. We're going into the heats. The heats can really change everything up. Your car can be good for just a few laps and not good for 20 laps. So depends on how these guys have the car set up for this race.
Can you use this 20 laps as a little bit of a test? The race tomorrow is 100 laps, which honestly ain't real long here. But can you use this as a little bit of test, maybe to try to dial your car in a little bit more for tomorrow, or have you already done most of that in practice?
You're going to do most of it in practice. If you're one of these blazing fast guys like Connor or Richard or Gerald, depending on if you get out in your heat race and you're pretty much dominant, you can possibly play with a few things on maybe in-car adjustments or setup stuff to kind of, put in the back of your mind to take into tomorrow's race, knowing that at that point in time in the race that you're going to most likely advance to tomorrow's feature. But, I don't see these guys doing a whole lot once the heat races begin, just for the fact that anything can go wrong in these heat races, and any of the fast guys can get put in the back.
Now you're looking at Connor Blaze, who was the fastest in the regular qualifying. So very good lap for him, as you see him resetting now. And what that's going to do is get ready to go heat racing. And I think guys are getting ready to line up. They're going over some last-minute adjustments right now. So we'll be waiting to take care of that. So as you see, the thing up top, we'll try to work this the best we can. It's kind of hard sometimes to get the flags right and stuff, since it's manually triggered, since iRacing does not allow heat races to actually happen through qualifying. You have to set it up manually, and the overlay program does not allow that at the moment either. So that's one reason why you see it a little bit different. We'll try to keep up with everything the best we can. You just got to deal with it a little bit. Tomorrow it'll all be shaken back out for 100 laps as the drivers get ready to head out onto the track. So we're waiting on the grid to be finalized and set, and that's what the owner right now is doing. Keith Jeffrey doing a really good job. I want to mention he's done a great job. He's kept me informed on everything that's pretty much been going on. Him and his, I forgot his name off the top of my head, Kyle Odenik, has helped a lot. He sent me some logos and stuff like that. So I want to thank them for doing that as we got cars starting to roll out, and the first heat race is about to get underway, and we get to see one of our fast guys, Connor Blaze, in that 57 car, going to be rolling out first here. And I'm not sure, Joe, but I was trying to see how they're doing it. It looks like the 1st, 4th, 7th, 13th, 16th, 22nd, and 25th cars are all going to be rolling out this time. So it looks like they're setting a little bit different than what I thought. I thought they went from first, you know. That makes sense because I think there's, 3 heat races. That does make sense.
Yeah, I believe with it being only 27 cars here tonight, they're actually running. That kind of works out to, putting in the right amount of people in the heat races, so we don't get big discrepancy in the amount of cars in each heat race.
Well, that's a good thing. So I want to mention this is for they take the top 6. So I want to make sure you mention that. The other ones will have to go to the last chance qualifier. So I want to make sure I mention that as we get ready to go racing here at Stafford. Sorry, I was looking at something, trying to figure out what was going on. Oh. As that does that, I gotta actually load back up my program again because something happened weird on it. I was trying to figure out what it was. So, alright, here we get ready to go. It will be Connor Blaze leading them to the green flag here in just a moment. We're going to take a couple trips around the track to make sure everybody's in the right position before we get ready to go. Once again, Adam Chapman, Joe Burchett with you in the booth for the SK Shootout at Stafford Motor Speedway. Very fun track. Real fast look at your weather before we get ready to go. 116-degree track temp. You're watching heat race number 1 for these guys as they get ready to roll out. This is set the stage for tomorrow's race. And here we go. Connor Blaze starting to roll off. And here we go, the 57 car leading us to the green flag here in just a moment. We're going to take a couple trips around Stafford. It looks like, how many cars we actually got out there?
I believe it is
10? So 2, 4,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, 10.
Okay.
So 6 will advance, 4 will go to an LCQ.
If sometimes you see a car go around, just let me know, so I'll make sure I throw that caution flag out, because I can't hear them, so if they call that caution, just let me know.
Simple.
Here we go. I think we're about to go green this time. What gear do you start in here? I guess first, huh?
Yeah.
So I think he's only have one gear, correct?
I believe it's a 2 gear.
Okay, I can't remember if they have 1 or 2 on here. You would think we'd know a little bit more, but I wasn't real sure. We'll take one more trip around the track, and let's actually hop on board with your pole sitter for this race. Connor Blaze about to lead us to the green flag. As they work on the back stretch here. There's a lot of nice paint schemes out there, though.
Yeah, it seemed like these guys and gals are out you know, the best paints they've got on these SKs for this 2-night event.
Yeah, that's really cool too. It brings a lot of things. We're green flag heat race number 1 underway here at Stafford as Connor Blaze leads it down into turn number 1. You can see the battle right there. Who is that? The 15, I believe. I'm sorry, that is the 16 battling side by side. I believe that is Dave in that 16 car. I'm about to say truck. Actually, Connor's got a little bit of pressure put on him right now. Everybody's single file for the most part. Riding on board right now with Zach Murphy in the 29. You talked about possibly a good chance at a bump here. Here comes that 14, possibly going to give the 16 a little shot. Not going to do it yet, just yet. How patient do you want to be in these heat races, Joe?
Mainly depends on where you're at on the track. You're right up here in these front 3 or 4. I'll give early in these heat races. I'll give them a little bit of space. You know, because right now you're all in a transfer position. There's no need to jeopardize it. You get down to 2-3 laps to go. If you just want to give him the bumper, you know, slightly to see if you can just increase your position without taking you or him out. You know, you can always try that, but, you know, I wouldn't be overly aggressive at this point.
Yeah, right now it looks like Kevin, sorry, I'm not going to butcher his last name, is right there on the bubble of being put back to the last chance qualifier, so we'll have to wait and see. Here comes the 16 looking to the inside of Connor Blaze. This could be a big pass, because I know I broadcasted a race here a couple weeks, or like last week or something. Track position was absolutely huge here if you started up front. Connor got in the wall a little bit. Some contact there on the 16 with the 57 as well as they work out of turn number 4. Side by side. Connor going to be able to take him across the line, still in the lead. It was great racing right now for the lead.
In actuality, Connor is actually kind of taking the defensive line around the track, guarding the high side.
Oh, he gets loose.
It looks like he gets a little bump there from the 16 going into the corner.
Yeah, so now he's got to try to hold off this 14 of Christopher Foster as they cross the line. And here comes the 14 now on the inside of the 57. So Connor maybe struggling a little bit here, actual in-race setup. We kind of mentioned that to see what would happen. Number 14 Wolfpack car comes out of turn 4 and will take over second and clear Connor. Back a little bit further in the field.
I think we've got a spinner down at turn 1.
It looks like it. I was trying to see who it was. Oh, you are right. I think we stayed green. Looks like the 63 actually had to reset, so he spun and just went back to pit road and came out of pit road. So we stayed green as Connor Blaze putting some pressure back on that 14 truck or car. We should be coming up to the white flag here in just a moment. Here comes Connor now with the run out of turn number 4. May look to the inside here on Chris Forster, sorry. Actually, that 14 car looks really racy as well. 19.903 so far his fast lap. That's actually a really good lap. Oh, wait, that's his qualifying lap. I apologize. It's a little bit different when you don't actually have the ticker showing you which is which. Everybody's single file right now, as I think we could be coming to the white flag. Joe, let me know if you hear him say white flag over the microphone, please.
We have no white flag yet,
okay.
But I would imagine it's going to be coming within the next lap or 2.
Yeah, we're definitely very close.
As the top 3 have just checked out from the field, it's kind of tight here for a battle between first, second, third, and 4th, 5th, and 6th. All the transfer spots have pretty much checked out from the rest of the field. This kind of starts to get scraggly past 3rd. But, you know, as long as these guys just stay in it and bring it home and, you know, keep all the wheels and what fenders are on this, on these SKs on here and the bars, you know, they're all going to transfer in.
keep in mind, 6 guys do transfer in. And right now, the last of them guys is, it looks like Doug Cockerham, I believe, in the 86 is the last transfer spot at the moment. Peter, and I'm not going to butcher your last name, and Christopher right now are going to have to possibly go to the last chance qualifier. I was a little impressed with that 16, I'm not going to lie. He qualified 7th in qualifying, but this car looks really good.
Seems like he's really able to rotate through the center on that bottom line and kind of just keep the car wound up to be able to get the power off the exit. He's not nearly sliding as much as the 14 and the 57.
These cars are very light in the back end. You can see a lot of the back end kind of sliding out. So I'm wondering if that like upsets the car a little bit with the track being so hot.
Not as much. These cars are actually kind of designed to run a little bit sideways.
Okay, so I see a couple of them going that way. I've seen a couple of them kind of look like they're, kind of kicking out a little bit. So makes a very good point. I guess it does help with the center of the corner a lot.
Yeah, and having these wider tires on there, it gives you a lot more surface to kind of really crank on the wheel. Yeah,
15-inch tires on the SKs, 400 horsepower just in
as we are coming to 1 to go here at the line.
Okay. It looks like the 16, Dave, going to be well ahead of the 14 as they work off turn number 2. One more time into 3 and 4. And Dave Badio, I think that's how you say his last name, is going to win heat race number 1 here at Stafford. And it looks like second place going to go to I believe it's the 14 of Chris Forster and Connor Blaze. Looks like he gets in as well. And unfortunately, it looks like Christopher and Kevin are the ones that didn't make the transfer. So we'll have to wait and see if that's the case. But congratulations to the 16 on winning his heat race. As we get set to roll out here once again. I don't think the 16 is in TeamSpeak. Dave, he is not. Okay. So we're getting ready to roll out second heat race right now. Remember, we have 3 heat races and a last chance qualifier coming up. 20 laps each heat race and then 25 laps for the main qualifier. We should be seeing Richard Smith possibly this time, I believe. There's a couple guys rolling down towards the bottom of the grid, so we'll have to wait and see. It looks like one of the drivers being Rogers in that number 9 car. He's actually rolling out into the back stretch now. Wait and see who else gets involved in this one. So what do you think, Joe? First heat race. You think these guys learned a little bit about anything or about any of these drivers they're going to be racing with tomorrow?
I think the guys up front definitely learned a few things racing around each other. I think especially Connor kind of getting, so to speak, moved in 3 and 4. I think he's going to kind of put that in the memory bank, and if he has that opportunity tomorrow with the 16, he may possibly use it again on him as a little bit of payback. But otherwise, I think what you're really going to see in these next heat races is being able to watch these guys watch the first one and see how it played out.
That's what I was getting to ask. How much of that do you really watch?
With it being the heat race and it's open, you can sit there and just watch it. It's you can actually learn a lot of things from just watching your other competitors race each other and kind of figure out where the lines are and where you need to be as you prepare for your heat race.
So as we get ready to go, you see the drivers lining up on the grid now. The 4, or who else is in that? The 19, I believe. Looks like the 71. I'm trying to see who that is. The 62, I believe. The 7. Not sure who else is out there just yet. Have to wait and see just for a second.
As Adam, I believe we have the winner of Heat 1 now in TeamSpeak.
Let me see if I can bring him in. Hey, Dave, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, you was the winner of heat race number 1 tonight. Learn anything out there that could help you for tomorrow?
Oh yeah, that whole heat race was learning for me. I've been, since dirt came out, that's pretty much all I've been doing. I didn't turn a lap tonight until about 15 minutes into the practice. So my teammates at Untamed, they really came through with the setup, and we made a few little changes on it, and that was what it took.
What's been the biggest, I guess you could say, what's going to be the biggest challenge you think you're going to have to face? Right now, the weather in here, 117-degree track temp. Is that one of the biggest challenges you think coming in here for tonight was facing that?
Yeah, absolutely. When surface temperature gets up that high, you usually start getting some forward grip off problems. So that's been the big concern all week.
Well, man, you did a good job tonight. Congratulations on your heat race win, and good luck tomorrow night. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out before we get ready to kick this second one off?
Yeah, absolutely. Untamed Motorsports, they hooked me up with the setup and definitely had some speed in it. So hopefully we can come out tomorrow and back it up.
Good luck tomorrow, man. We'll be looking forward to that. 100 laps, and we'll talk to you then. You got a really fast hot rod, so I'm sure you'll be up there.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man. You too, buddy. That was Dave Brody, I believe is how you say his last name, Joe, as we got 6 cars that looks like gridded. I may be missing a couple cars. I see 6 on the grid. Oh, I'm missing somebody else. Who is that? The 131 and the 09, I believe. As we get ready to set them up and roll. Richard Smith going to be leading us to the green flag on this one. And I said 09, I meant 9, by the way, not the 09. As here they come. 9 cars in this one, 6 make the next round.
As his first heat race was, for the most part, pretty calm. Let's see if this next heat race, if it gets a little bit more chaotic.
Let me ask you a question, Joe. What makes these cars so attractive? If I guess I can use the word attractive. What makes the draw for these cars so popular, you think? Because, I mean, they are fun to drive. But what attracts you to racing these cars?
Just, going to this track, or going to a track, seeing them, seeing that the amazing speed that they can turn on these little short tracks, and just, how different they look as we're actually going green.
Yeah, we are green flag. Richard Smith already out by a Carling over second place as we battle for second is underway right now with 62 going to take that away from 19. Actually, 19 falls back to third now. Glenn, he falls back. Here comes the 7 on the inside trying to take away that spot. Bobby Rafferty takes away. Actually, the 71 falling back quite a bit right now. Gary Holbrook, he falls behind the 131 of Bobby Sandit Jr. And right now, that could be a big spot. Here comes the 30 car to his inside of Garland Bennett. Remember, Garland didn't have the greatest of lap, I don't think, and also the 9 car is there as well. That is actually one of the transfer spot right there that you see. So we'll see who holds on to that. And right now, the 30 of Garland has that transfer spot as we jump back up towards the front.
The 19 of Glenn Pressey is putting actually a move for second place.
Yeah, good pass. Perkins. Really good pass. Here comes the 62 with a little bit of run in. Not going to be able to get there. Now the battle going to be with the 7 car. That 7 is taking advantage of a lot of these passes. We got a wreck behind it, I believe. No, they just made contact. They might be wrecking. Nope, he saved it. That transfer spot really heating it up back there with the 9 car. Remember the 9 right now and these 3 guys right here, the 9, the 30, and the 71, all fighting for a transfer spot. And right now the 9 has that spot. Stephen Rogers. We jump back up towards the front.
As with that pass a few laps ago by Glenn Pressey, Jason Perkins has dropped all the way back to 5th.
Wow.
That's one thing to look at for tomorrow night. As these guys start to run the bottom, somebody gets underneath you in these corners and kind of moves you high. It's similar to a Martinsville, so to speak, where you're going to get shuffled out of line. You just kind of work your way and find a hole so you can get back down. As Jason dropped all the way back to 5th after running 2nd when Glenn made the pass on him.
Yeah, and I was going to mention, he's back to 5th now, and he's only 2 spots out of that transfer spot. As we see the 71 diving to the inside, trying to take away. That is for 7th, trying to take that away from the 30. And at the moment, he will not have it. Gary Hulbert trying to take it away. And that will move up. The 71 up a spot. Here comes 30 with the crossover. Remember, they have to get in front of that 9 in order to get to the transfer spot for tomorrow's main race.
As if it was me, Gary and Garland, I would kind of get single file and not really race each other too hard, because you're just letting that 9 car just pull away for that final transfer spot, and you're costing each other and yourselves, time to him, and it's not doing you any beneficial.
Yeah, it don't take many laps to go around here. It don't take very long to complete 20 laps, so that's one thing, like you mentioned, you got to kind of get that worked out really fast, as Richard Smith pretty much checked out over the 2nd place Glenn right now. Then you got the 7 running in 3rd, then you got the 131 car of Bobby running in 4th place right now. I know it shows 17th, by the way, guys, but he is in 4th right now in his heat race. Then you got the 62, who is running in 5th, of Jason Perkins. And in 6th, we have the 9. And right now, that is your transfer spots going over, and that is Rogers back in the 9 car. And last time by, the 71, I'm showing a little bit faster than this 9 car. So we'll see if he's able to get there and try to take that transfer spot away. I don't know how many more laps they got left. It can't be very many, though. You see the driver of the 4, Richard Smith, really fast in qualifying. Actually qualified 2nd, which is why he's in the 2nd heat race, and led him to the green flag. Out next, we'll see Gerald John in the 04 lead him to the green flag in the final heat race before we go to a last chance qualifier. As you see him cross the start-finish line. Going back just a little bit, back to the 62 once again. Looks like he's kind of checked out just a little bit over the 9 now. Actually, the 71's putting some pressure on the 9, Joe. For a transfer spot, that's a big spot. That'd be a big pass if he's able to make it.
Yeah, as it being now 5 to go in this heat race, this is definitely the battle to watch. The 71 will probably use that chrome horn on the front of that car if he can get to him in time.
Yeah, he looked to the inside there just a little bit. Not going to be able to get there. He's actually ran him down from quite a bit of ways back. He may have a chance here going into turn 1. Not going to be able to get there just yet, but you mentioned it right there. Now we're at 4 to go. Coming to 3 to go, actually. Or maybe a shot here to the inside. Not going to get there just yet.
As he's trying to do it as clean as he can without taking him out, as the 9 actually gets loose coming out of turn 4.
Side by side.
He's opened up that door.
And this is a big spot here. The 71 trying to take it.
Definitely giving the advantage to the 71.
And it looks like Gary Hulbert going to be able to take it for now. Here comes the 9 with the crossover.
As we're coming to 2 to go.
Oh, the 9 got loose again.
Yeah,
he's had a little bit of trouble getting loose out of turn 4.
You definitely can't say that the 9 didn't leave it all out there.
He's trying.
He's sidetracking and coming out all these corners.
And is that something you could work on possibly for that last chance qualifier? Maybe so you won't get loose. Maybe an air pressure adjustment or something.
Yeah, these guys, I wouldn't imagine that they wouldn't be working on these cars going into the LCQ.
Yeah, the 9's really got his hands full. He's sliding way out now. Here comes the 4 car as he takes the white flag.
Checker flag.
Checker flag, I apologize. And Richard Smith wins heat race number 2.
In dominating fashion.
Yeah, he dominated that one.
That's mainly what you're looking for, or looking at when you're watching a lot of these heat races. the guy up front, you know, was qualifying second as he did overall on the field. Being first in the second heat race, you know, it's kind of a given. He should be able to pull out and pull away. It was something that you know, it was kind of surprising there in that first heat race when the pole sitter wasn't able to just check out on the field and go. So you definitely look like Richard has his car set up well here at Stafford this weekend.
Let me ask you a question. Do these cars get wheel spin? Or is that something, you know, that don't really tend to happen a lot in these cars?
I believe, depending on the gear ratio you're running in them, it's definitely a good chance they could get wheel spin. I'm not 100% certain on it, so I can't give you a definitive answer.
As you see some of these guys lining up now, you got Gerald John out there, Richard Smith, you got the 41 of Junior Harville out there, the 18, who else is that out there? I can't really see who that is. The 007, I believe.
Yeah, I believe outside pole we've got Roy Schiavano.
Yep. 69 is also out there. Not sure who else, if anybody. Remember, guys, this is our last heat race, and then from here we will go to the last chance qualifier. I know the ticker's a little weird right now, guys. That's just the way iRacing's got it set up. With this program, you can't really use a different program, so unfortunately, you know, we can't use it at the moment. I know I'm probably missing a couple cars, but here's what I got so far. As we get ready to go, this is going to be a pretty good race here, I believe. Roy Schiavano always fast in short tracks. Fast about anything he goes, but Gerald John, I mean, he's, you know, 19.889 in qualifying. I was here looking at the qualifying times, and the qualifying times actually look really amazing. I'm not going to lie. They look really close. Some of the closest times we've seen in a while in some of the broadcasts. So that's pretty cool. Let's see who that is. Oh, wrong button. Alright, here we go. Alright, let's bring in Richard Smith, by the way, who was our winner in the last race. Oop. There he is. Hey, Richard Smith, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, man. You was the winner in heat race number 2. Did you learn anything out there that you could use for tomorrow?
Yes, sir. I felt like the track was fairly loose. It rubbered up pretty well, but the guys got racing behind me there and gave me a chance to get in my rhythm. I think I'm ready to go for tomorrow night's race.
Are you gonna? I know you don't want to give too much away because you don't know who's listening and stuff like that. Is there any adjustments you're gonna make on the car possibly tonight, or I mean, you pretty much dominated that second race though.
No, sir. There won't be any changes. We're going to run it like it is.
Well, man, you did a good job for that race. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Is there any shout-outs you want to give out before we head out of here and watch this third heat race?
Yes, sir. My entire team, car, sim racing, was in there helping me get through the race. Those guys do their job and do it well. Kyle, Andy, and Heath. Well, man, so, thanks, guys.
You did a good job. I'm going to be honest. You're probably one of the favorites because the way you dominated that race was pretty good. So, good job on that. We'll be looking forward to watching tomorrow.
All right, sir.
Thanks a lot, man. That was Richard Smith, winner of heat race number 2. And I think he may have something for tomorrow, Joe.
Yeah, it seemed like in that second heat race, he just, you know, ran off and hit.
Yeah.
That car seemed like it worked very well for him. And
it rotated really good.
I would not be surprised to see if he's the one to beat come tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. So here we go. The third heat race about to get underway. As we will take one more trip around here. Roy Schiavano, actually Gerald John on the front row with Roy Schiavano on the outside, the 41. You see a Junior Harville. Then you got the 18 starting in 4th place. And as I look through my number list, I got to find out who that is. Sorry, I'm not used to everybody's names yet. I haven't broadcasted these guys before. Rick Webster, that's right. As we get ready to go. Remember, 6 guys go, so we will be eliminating 2 guys from this one. The 22 and 69 is going to be running out the back end of the field, so we'll see if they can get up here and take one of them spots away. And then if not, they'll be going to a last chance qualifier to see what they can do. as the pace car, imaginary pace car drops in, I guess we can say.
They are green.
Green flag. And Shivano already got his hands full. To the inside, it looks like that's the 41 trying to take that spot away. Not going to be able to get there.
Seemed like Royce is able to get a good run out of turn 2. One thing I've noticed all night long, seemed like the guy starting in the 3rd position is able to get the jump on 2nd place, usually on all the starts of the races, just being able to be on that bottom and able to pinch the guy high, as it seems like 3rd place is actually doing that to the 76 as we speak.
Yeah, you see that right there, the 41 able to clear the 76 this time by. Is it possibility of a 100-lap race that we'll start to see that middle groove come in?
Yes, depending on how much practice they are allowed to run before that race come tomorrow, and how hot this track is when they run it tomorrow night.
Yeah, because it could be whole different weather come tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. Shivano got his hands full just a little bit right now with that car. We jump back just a little bit. Who is that? I'm trying to see who that was. Was it? Nope, it was a little bit further back. I think it was Richard Price, I think. Trying to run down this 007 of Colin Mellors. Right now, your 2 guys that would be eliminated and have to go to the transfer spot, you're looking at right now, the 22 and the 69. That is Kenneth Boehm and Brandon Predel, I believe is how you say the last name. Up front, pretty much single file. I have noticed, Joe, it kind of seems like these guys that get that early jump or get that little clean air out front kind of pull away a little bit.
Yeah, you know, these cars, you definitely can get a decent jump on all these starts and kind of just, you know, get out in your own zip code, and it's kind of hard to run these guys down, and with it being a short track like it is. You know, as long as you keep hitting your marks consistently every lap, they're not really going to inch their way in.
Do got a battle starting to heat up a little bit further back in the field. The 007 right now trying to hold off one of the transfer spots, trying to hold on to the transfer spot. The 69, Brandon has closed the gap last time by, but I did notice the 007 was on the outside, trying to make a pass on the 26 and got a little loose, and it allowed the other 2 cars to catch up to the back of him. So that's a very interesting, or could become very interesting, as we try to keep an eye on that as we continue to stay green here for this race. Still up front is Gerald John leading the way. Roy Shivano back in 3rd. The 41 of Junior Harville is in 2nd. Then we got the 18 car of Rick Webster currently in 4th. Then a little bit further back, it is Richard Price in 5th. And then the 007 is in 6th, trying to hold on to that transfer spot over the 69 of Brandon. So I would guess, and correct me if I'm wrong, if Gerald does go on to win this race, he would be starting 3rd, correct?
From my understanding, that's what I would believe, okay. But I don't know. Seeing how they've got the heat set up, it's kind of a little bit offset than what you would normally set them up from. I don't know for sure. That's one thing we can definitely check on as the broadcast is coming to an end later.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll definitely get a message letting me know who would be the overall pole sitter. I guess the overall pole sitter would be, who was it that won the first one? I completely forgot now. I talked to him and I forgot who it was.
I believe it is Dave.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the 16.
Bodie?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot who it was. So right now it looks like everybody's kind of content where they run. All with the exception of the 69, who's trying to take that spot away. Here he comes to the inside. Almost puts the bumper to the 007. He's getting a run off turn 4. See if he can take this transfer spot away as he looks to the inside. Contact. Oh,
contact.
Yep.
And we have a spinner.
I think that was netcode a little bit.
I believe is possibly going to be a caution here. Yes, and caution is out.
Yeah, I believe that was interesting.
I believe that was partial blinking with the
that's what I'm seeing as well
on the 007 car, but it's also a little bit of, you know, kind of
product to get into the main race.
Yeah, it's, you know, I want that position. That's a transfer spot and get out of the way. You know, I'm making my run.
Yeah. So we're ready to go back green flag. I don't know how many laps we'll have left. Like I said, iRacing does not keep track of this since it's all in one big session. We're just doing the best we can to try to keep track of it. I hope we're doing an okay job at least. First time I've ever tried it, so makes it a little bit tough. I know Joe's never tried it as well. So, okay, let's see. It is still Gerald John, then the 41 of Junior Harville, and then Roy Schiavano, your top three, followed by the 18 of Rick Webster, and then Richard Price as we get ready to go back green.
And this is the first time we're going to see a restart actually tonight in any of these heat races. So you're going to see these guys really probably get together and start beating and banging.
And actually, I'm only seeing 6 drivers out there now. So do you want to push extra hard here? I mean, you're transferred.
That's something to also look at is, you know, a lot of it now at this point would be starting position in tomorrow's race. You know, where do you want to try to start as far up as you can in these, you know, in the main feature tomorrow. I know the 76 is probably going to look at trying to get around the 41 of Junior Harville, using that bottom lane like Junior did on the start of the race on him to possibly get back up, you know, on one of those, you know, higher rows up towards the front for tomorrow night.
Yeah, and as the green flags get ready to come out, we are back to green flag racing here. Let's see what happens. This could be a very interesting, could be really aggressive here. And to be honest, I don't blame them.
They're beating back to the 5th and 6th position.
Yeah, I seen somebody get moved up the track a little ways. It looked like Rick Webster, or I'm sorry, not Rick Webster, but Richard Price got moved up the track a little bit. So,
Gerald looked like he was able to get the perfect start again and kind of check out somewhat over 2nd and 3rd and 4th.
Roy Schiavano may look to the inside of the 41, or maybe put the bumper to him, we'll see. Or he may just be content where he's at.
As we're coming to 6 to go here at the line.
These things get up and go though, don't they?
Yes,
they really
they've
do.
Got a ton of acceleration in these cars.
They accelerate like crazy. Kind of reminds you of like a Super Late does on the exits. Wow. I got to watch them run at Bristol last year, and they're fun. I know you've watched them as well. They're fun as heck to watch, and they don't care about putting the bumper either.
That chrome bar on the front, it gets used more often than not.
So the battle going to be for second right now. Schiavano trailing the 41, trying to get a run. He is backing up his corner a little bit more than the 41, trying to get the run out. But Junior doing a really good job with the acceleration out of the corner, not allowing Schiavano to get there. Actually, the 18 has caught up as well. And he's done a good job of starting to put some pressure on both of these guys. I believe we're coming to 2 to go, I believe.
I believe so. Kind of curious to see if Royce there decides to put the bumper to him, or if he just rides it out here in 3rd place. I know he's getting a little bit of pressure behind him as well.
Looks like
definitely your closest battle right now.
It looks like you've been trying to back up the corner. I'm not sure if that's how you go about racing this place, to maybe try to get a run out, but it seems like he was backing it up. And I think that's it.
I believe that is white flag.
Yeah, that's right. I don't even know what lap I'm on half the time.
As Gerald John seems like he's going to comfortably roll into the victory here in heat number 3.
Gerald
he's coming out of 4.
4 and across the checker, and everybody else going to follow suit. We did have somebody a little bit further back. I thought I seen getting the wall. Richard Price actually made that pass on the last lap. And Gerald John going to be your winner here in heat race number 3 and moves him over, of course, to the main race. And now the last chance qualifier about to get started. And have to wait and see if Gerald comes in TeamSpeak. We will talk to him. Pretty good racing so far, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, the first 2, really no cautions, a little bit of beating and banging in that 2nd heat. This 3rd heat definitely, you know, showed you if the first 2 are calm, that 3rd one's definitely going to be more chaotic. And it showed. We actually had a caution thrown in this third heat. And these guys were definitely beating and banging a lot more.
During this last chance qualifier, do you expect to see a lot more aggressiveness out of these guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's it's going to be the last shot for some of these guys to make the field for tomorrow night's feature. You're going to definitely see all these drivers in the LCQ leave it all out on the track.
Well, let's pull in our winner from heat race number 3. Hey, Gerald, you got a copy?
I sure do.
Man, very fast once again. It looks like clean air definitely helping these cars. Did you learn anything out there that can help you for tomorrow?
Not a whole heck of a lot. About the only thing was we did have a restart, so it was kind of nice to get a restart, kind of feel what the car's going to do with not a lot of fuel in it, and you know, with the tires having some laps on it and everything. So
yeah, I was going to ask.
Kind of good for that.
I was going to ask because Ben Joe was up here talking about it. Are you noticing any wheel spin on them restarts, or is it pretty much the same way it was whenever you started the race?
No, that was the same as it was when we started. The tires seemed to really cool off and you know, get some pretty decent grip right off the start there, so that wasn't a problem at all.
Well, man, you did a really good job and dominated that third heat, so congratulations on that, and go out there and see what you can do tomorrow. Anybody want to give a shout out to before we head to this last chance qualifier?
Yeah, sure do. Just wanted to thank all my teammates at Untamed Motorsports, Dave Bodio and Bobby Silent Jr., Keith Jeffries, you know, all them guys. They make it so much fun to do this, and we all worked on the set together, so I really appreciate all the stuff they do. And just want to thank Dunleavy's Truck and Tire Repair and MGM Casinos for their support, and just thank you guys too for putting this on for us.
Well, man, we're looking forward to tomorrow night. It's going to be a fun race, 100 laps tomorrow, so we'll talk. All right, as we get ready to go. Guys, by the way, if there's any lag on my part on the broadcast, I want to let y'all know there's weather in the area, and it's kind of weirded out right now. So I just want to make sure I point that out, because I know I had some frame rate right there. But anyway, it'll be cleaned up by tomorrow. So we're getting ready to go for the last chance qualifier. And I kind of want to get Keith in here real fast. And maybe talk to him a little bit about what made him put this series together for this race, because I know he's been working pretty hard on it. It looks like we're starting to set it up. He may actually
he's going over a couple rules with the guys for the LCQ, but we should be able to get him in here before the LCQ rolls.
Do you, I don't know, are they counting cautions or?
I believe they're counting caution laps.
Okay.
I know they were counting it there in that third heat race where we actually did have the caution. The caution laps did count towards that 20 lap total.
Okay, let me bring in Keith. Hey, Keith, you got me?
Yeah, buddy, I do. Do you got me?
Yeah, man, I got you. I want to bring you in here and let you explain a little bit about what made you decide to put this series on.
So, Kyle and I started EastWest about a year or two ago. We just decided to put together a big tour mod race, and it's kind of evolved. We've done a couple series, we've done some big races, and we wanted to come down and give the SK guys a little love, so we decided to do a big SK race. Well,
man, you've done a good job so far. I don't want to keep you in here too long, because I know you got to go get ready to take care of this last chance qualifier. What do you think the race is going to be like? Have you seen anything tonight that can, you know, have you been pleased with so far what's happened tonight?
Yeah, I've been very happy. It's been real hot, and I think that's making these guys, you know, think a little bit more about the racetrack than being silly. But it's been real clean so far, and I think when we get all these guys out there tomorrow, it's going to be a great show.
Well, man, we're looking forward to it. Heat races have been fun so far, so good luck admin in this last chance qualifier. It's going to be a good race.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks a lot, man. We'll move him back up, and we get ready to go here. So that's pretty cool, that reason why he actually decided to do it. You know, like I said, Joe, when we first came in here, I don't think the SK gets enough love from the iRacing community, because they are fun to watch and fun to race.
It's definitely a select car that you kind of got to have a little nick and have the drive to really want to race it. It's definitely one of those, you know, divisions on iRacing that is definitely, you know, unloved a little bit. You know, most of your official races are very unpopulated So hopefully, you know, here in the future, maybe iRacing can kind of do something to bump participation in the series.
Yeah, that would be really awesome.
Definitely, as you're seeing tonight, you know, these cars can definitely put on a fun, entertaining, exciting show.
Yeah.
So, you know, hopefully we're able to see some more of these in the future, just on the iRacing community.
I hate to kind of downgrade the NASCAR series, because I race the NASCAR series. You race them as well. Our whole team does it. But ever since I started spotting you for some of these short track races that you do, you start to understand a little bit more appreciation of how much work these cars actually do go into the setups and stuff. There's a lot of work to be that good and that fast on short tracks, and I love watching them. But I think we're going to take another lap around before we get ready to go green. And it looks like that is the 86 of Doug Cockerham, I believe. And I'm not entirely sure. I'm thinking it's going to be 4 drivers advance. I don't want to jinx that, so I just want to make sure I mention that. I don't want to jinx it, but it's either 2 or 4, but I want to say 4. I'll see if I can find out, though. As we get ready to go green flag, and the 86 will lead us to that green flag. Green flag out, 25 laps, last chance qualifier underway. This is going to be a pretty good race, I believe. We may see that bumper get used quite a few times. The 86 right now, Doug out front, leading this 9 car of Stephen Rogers.
See, these guys are staying right up on top of each other.
Yeah.
The leader not able to pull it. Ooh, this is the 9 car. It's heavy right side contact in the wall coming out of turn 4.
Still able to keep second for now. Yeah, this race right here is going to be very close. Oh, he's going to get loose. This is, oh, man, he's going to slide up. And the 007 cut that 63 a lot of slack just now. I don't know if you've seen that, but he cut the 63 a lot of slack because that would have been very bad. So, actually, we do got a battle pretty much all throughout the field right now. Everybody knows the tail for the most part as we watch the 63 look to the inside of the 30, and now the 9 going back to the outside. That 9's really driving in deep. He's pushing really hard, trying to get everything he can out of this car.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised to see these guys get single file in this LCQ. It's definitely working to the advantage of the 86 of Doug Cockerham.
Yeah.
I would imagine he'd like to see these guys stay single file the entire LCQ here.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. You see Doug out by about a car and a half, I guess. And you got the 22 of Kenneth running in second now. And then we got possibly a pass for, what is that? I can't even tell. 5th maybe? The 63 and the 9?
Yeah, I believe it is for 5th place.
It is for 5th.
As the 9, it seems to be the only car to really try to work that outside all night long. Most of all your passes have been, you know, kind of a slide job on the bottom, so to speak, and he's really trying to work that high groove to see if he can get the run out of these corners.
Yeah, I forgot when the last time you raced here, but like I mentioned, I know I broadcasted the race here. It may have been actually Sunday for Nazareth, and it was really tough passing. The track wasn't this hot and it wasn't this car, but, you know, we did see some passing on that high side, so here comes the 9 now underneath the 63. Almost puts the bumper to him. I'm just wondering how patient.
They got a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, I believe.
Yeah, I'm wondering how patient you want to be.
And not really knowing how many transfers, hard to say, but I would imagine any of these guys back from 3rd on back are going to be, you know, really trying to ramp it up, you know, and really get racy here pretty soon. They're, you know, the chances
there's
of
a bump.
making it in are definitely running out.
The 9 starting to put the bumper to the 63 a little bit as they went down the straightaway. See if that affects anything as we head into turn number 3. He may do it again right here. Little tap, maybe. Close.
As you almost kind of see, third place seems to be kind of starting to bunch.
I noticed that,
group
yeah.
up here. It seems like he's starting to fall off a little bit here as this
12.
run, goes on, and definitely going to open up the door to see, some of those chrome bumpers.
Here it comes.
Get put to him.
30 right now behind that 12 of Garland Bennett in the 30. Here comes the 63 to the inside of the 30. Not going to be able to get there just yet. 30 really drove it in. Here comes the 63 making contact. He may go around. Around they go. Oh! I think we may stay.
We've got a spinner. We have no caution yet, but I don't think we're going to get a caution.
I don't think we're going to get a caution for that either. Wow.
Definitely something Doug Cockerham was glad to see as these guys, working out.
Yeah.
Not get a caution. As
30's definitely not happy.
No, definitely not. As it kind of worked out a little bit to the advantage of the 9. He was kind of working there in, I believe, 6th place at the time, and he kind of got shuffled back there early in the race. He's kind of worked his way back up to 4th.
Yeah, not bad at all. So if we transfer 4, he's definitely where he wants to be. He's just got to stay in front now of the 007. Cockerham's actually starting to get his hands full a little bit. The 22 starting to track him down just ever so slightly. Last time by, it was a little bit faster for the 22. Not much, but definitely there. Maybe not this time. Actually, once again, it was the 22 just a little bit faster.
As it seems to be the LCQ is a 25-lap LCQ, so we are actually at 10 to go.
Here comes the 6 underneath the 9 underneath the 12. Moving the 12 up the track. And the 007.
Third place.
Yeah, the 007 was actually able to take away that spot. Taking advantage of it.
Now, that's something to kind of, think about as the race progresses here towards the end. You don't really know if that move was probably in the best interest of the 9 with this many laps to go. If that guy's able to get back to him, there's a good chance you're going to see the bumper.
Get moved.
You're going to see that chrome horn get put to him and probably get moved out of the way back.
I agree completely. So we'll have to wait and see if Christopher can get back up there. I'm actually surprised. I don't know if Christopher's he's having some trouble. Like you mentioned, he's kind of fallen back since the drop of the green flag. He was good for, like you mentioned, I think about 10 laps and then fell really far back. So right now it is still Cockerham out front with the 22 running in second. And here comes the 63 with the bump on the 12. Moving him up the track.
But make contact again.
12 just killed his car. He had to have damage from out. I don't know if he got in here or not, but that definitely didn't help it.
Christopher's night in the heat race didn't work out, and it seems like the LCQ is going to be a little bit worse on the outcome for him. So, best of luck to him in the future, but most likely he's not going to transfer into
That's tough. You've been in that situation. You not make a race. I mean, we've all been in it. It's definitely tough, but honestly, it gives you more motivation to go out next time and prove them all wrong.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, nothing to hang your head on. Kind of use it as some motivation, some drive, and one of the next time they host one of these big events,
show up
try
to
get
be better.
Up there and show up and try to put yourself into that feature.
And honestly, he may have been up there, and I don't want to throw nobody under the bus, but he may have been up there. Bump and run was used, or bump and move was used, and it pushed it back a little bit. And unfortunately, that's the way racing is, though. I ain't gonna lie, this 9 car looks fast on this long run, though. And as
they're going to be coming to 1 to go here.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. Coming to 1 to go, I do believe. As Doug Cockerham looks like he's going to be the one coming out of turn 2. Going to see turn 3 and 4 one more time. definitely an exciting LCQ. And across start finish line and wins the last chance qualifier and moves him on to the next round for tomorrow. So we'll wait and see, make sure these guys don't come in for an interview, and if they do, we'll talk to them before we head out of here. Joe, all in all, what's your thoughts on tonight's races?
It seemed like all these guys put on the show tonight. Everyone came prepared, so to speak, to attack this track in the weather that was, provided for them. Seemed like everybody was, for the most part, prepared. A couple people, I think were unable to make the start of the heat races and the LCQ, but for the most part, I think racing all around, it was good. Tomorrow night should be one heck of a show, for you. I know, and hopefully all the guys that don't make it in from the LCQ don't get, too down trying to put motivation and, whenever they do another one of these events, definitely show back up and try to put on a show.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you mentioned, or we mentioned before, it honestly does motivate you to go out and be better. There's some really good drivers in here, like some of the best modified drivers in here that race on iRacing. So if you come in here and even hunk somewhat with them, that's something to be proud of. I know, nobody wants to hear, I still didn't make it. Yeah, I understand that. But, you got to come in here and try. And, if it didn't work out, go out and get better and make yourself faster. I mean, that's the best way to honestly do it, prove all these guys wrong. Let's pull in, I think, Colin Miller. Did he make the race? Let me find out. I think he was the last one possibly that made it. We will wait and see. I'm waiting to hear from... Okay, let me pull in Colin and talk to him. Hey, Colin, you got a copy? Hey, Colin, you got a copy? Oh, I think you can hear us, but I don't think we can hear him. We'll try to get him back in here in just a minute. Anywho, while he gets that, so anyway, my thoughts on the race. I am looking forward to tomorrow night's race. We'll be live for that at, I believe, 8 p.m. We'll be live with that. And looking forward to seeing that race. And who else just joined? Rick Price, I believe. He make it? Trying to find out. Anywho. So yeah, looking forward to tomorrow night's race. You can follow it on Facebook, and you'll see everything when we get ready to go live. I'll make sure I post everything. But I think that's going to do it for us tonight, guys. I had a blast broadcasting this. I want to thank Keith Jeffrey for giving me the opportunity to come out and broadcast these heat races. It was a little bit different. I know it didn't work out completely flawless because, heat races are tough to broadcast. But yeah, all in all, great race. And that's going to do it for us tonight. Joe, you got anything else you want to say?
Just, good luck to all the competitors tomorrow night. And hopefully we have a good of a broadcast that we had tonight.
All right, man. Y'all have a great night. We'll talk to y'all soon, and God bless.
It's a different style of racetrack, but I'm ready for it. We are green here at Irwindale.
Green flag is out at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Sin City 110, Derek, underway. And green flag is out. We are off to racing here at laps of this race. We got a wreck. Hold on. The 12 and 1 goes around. Trackers may finish second tonight. Out of turn 4, Colin Allman is going to win at Myrtle Beach. With Phil and Landon Lacey going to drive off turn 4 and win at Bristol Motor Speedway, the Super Late model. DJ